I'm a self-employed Pacific Northwest native and U.S. Coast Guard veteran, living a quarter-mile west and up the hill from Aurora. My wife and I purchased our home in the Greenwood Bitter Lake neighborhood of Seattle 8 years ago. Since then, we've had 2 children, 3 years old and 3 months old. This has always been a quiet neighborhood with lots of kids and great neighbors. Living relatively near Aurora was never without its drawbacks. But rarely did any serious problems stemming from Aurora affect the surrounding neighborhoods. But the last 2 years have taken things to a whole new level. Just imagine this: 2 vehicles engaged in a terrifying shootout for over a minute, expending more than 40 rounds, bullets flying, hitting cars, businesses, and houses in the adjoining neighborhoods. All of this happening just feet from where people sleep. I woke up to the shots echoing through the neighborhood. I took my son to the back room, which is insane that I have to do that. The very next night, almost at the same time, it happened again.
Even the cats are used to it.
In each instance, the shooters simply get in their cars and leave. The police, understaffed and overwhelmed, respond from far away. 14 minutes after the first shooting, and 5 minutes after the next one. They rope off the areas and search for shell casings, but their resources are stretched thin, and they move on to the next high-priority call. In 2020, the Seattle City Council voted to remove the crime of prostitution loitering in the municipal code. As prostitution activity has grown, it has brought with it escalating violence, including pimps feuding and a surge in drug-related incidents, all fueled by the huge influx of traffic into our neighborhood each evening. Today, prostitutes often stand in the middle of the road blocking entrances and bus lanes, and some don't even move so you can get through. It's a dangerous situation. This is a local, fixable problem. I'm looking at homicides, drive-by shootings, shots fired, and assault with weapons. These have all skyrocketed. I know all the arguments that this is a nationwide problem, or that we have less murders in 1992, or that Aurora has always been this way. I'm not talking about any of that. 3 things have changed since we moved here in 2016. We have no static police presence, only responding to priority 1 calls. We have a huge influx of people from all over, drawn to specific areas of Aurora because of the lack of enforcement, which includes johns, pimps, drug dealers. I'm talking about what anyone in these neighborhoods witness daily. Every night, our normally quiet neighborhood explodes with activity. I'm routinely woken up by speeding vehicles, horns blaring, shouts of pimps infighting or chasing each other through the residential streets. Each morning, our neighborhood is trashed. Fast food wrappers, used condoms, needles litter our streets. It's maddening that these people think it's okay to come from their neighborhoods and into our neighborhoods to have sex with a prostitute feet from our homes. If you call the police for any of this, you won't get a response. You will get text messages about your call and the obligatory apology that the officers didn't respond. And then you'll get the follow-up messages for a survey. On multiple occasions, I'll shine a flashlight and now a spotlight at parked cars, not only in an attempt to deter the prostitutes and their customers from coming up the hill into our neighborhood, but also as an outlet for the deep anger and frustration that has built up over time.
What's going on, man?
On a few occasions when things get very bad, I've shined my spotlight on their customers' vehicles down on Aurora from my house. I've even parked my blue SUV on Aurora with my parking lights on. This simple act freaks out the Johns, which causes the prostitutes to move to another block.
Get the fuck out. Don't park in our neighborhood, man. Bro, don't park in our neighborhood with the prostitute, man. We live here. My kids sleep here, dude. Go to your own neighborhood, man. Park in our fucking neighborhood? Better fucking move, man.
One night, my kids were woken up at 1 a.m. by 2 drunk Johns with 4 prostitutes directly in front of my house, shouting in the street. Fed up, I parked my 4Runner at a business on Aurora and didn't leave for 2 hours. As you can see, this completely clears the block. I am fully aware that this was an absolutely stupid thing to do. Spending time down there made me realize the sheer number of people coming into the area. I saw literally hundreds of cars in just an hour or so turning into our neighborhood. It was overwhelming. Overall, I did this to prove a point. Even without the resources or the ability to enforce our laws, just the simple presence of a police officer or fed up neighbors is enough to cut down on the demand considerably. The Johns don't stop, the prostitutes move, the pimps go with them, and so do the other issues that accompany the hundreds of people in that spot. I personally believe that prostitution should be legal, but not like this. I think it's time we consider bold solutions. After the Justice Department shut down websites like Backpage and Craigslist Personals, after the FOSTA bill passed, it's become even harder to find the actual victims of sex trafficking. It's forced women out of the relative safety of traceable online ads in hotel rooms back into the streets where they need pimps for protection. I could be wrong, but the overall increase in violence we've been experiencing in our region, combined with the massive influx of people coming to Aurora, is the reason things are getting even more dangerous. We need a bold solution, such as a city allowing brothels with registered and tested sex workers. If Nevada can do it, so can Seattle. Quick side note on this police car that pulled up. I had actually called the police an hour earlier when a group of kids jumped out of their cars and chased the prostitutes down the street, acting like they had weapons in their pockets. They weren't responding to my call, and just pulled up and drove off without talking to me. In the 2+ hours I was sitting there, this was the only police presence I saw.
We stand here. You're messing our money up because you're scaring people away.
Oh, so you want to take your customers up in front of our house and in front of our house outside of my kid's window?
That's not my problem.
Okay, well, it's not my problem. I'm sitting here. Not my problem. You're losing money.
It is your problem because now you're going to cause problems with everybody else. I hope you know that we are all...
Well, I've been out here for a couple days, so good luck.
I've seen you before, and I've talked to you, and I've asked you.
Yeah.
You left that night, which I respect. You didn't come back, but now you're being a nuisance.
So, do you live here?
I work here, which is even...
There's a respect issue here because when somebody takes their customers up outside of my house, wakes my children up, which in turn wakes me up, and the police do not come out, so my neighborhood is texting each other and texting me, and we're all coming out. We have to take the time out of our day to babysit you guys because you don't take your customers to a fucking hotel like normal people. Your customer, they just don't take your customers out of my house, and you won't have a problem.
I don't do that.
It's easy. Well, I'm not coming here for you then.
But you're here. I need you to go park your car somewhere else. Like,
You know, there are a lot of blocks on Aurora, and I'm on 107th, so you can go anywhere but this one.
Obviously, we stand here.
Well, obviously I'm here because you're standing here and taking customers up to my house. So this is why I'm here.
But let's start with the first step. A simple emphasis patrol for a long enough period to curb demand. One single patrol officer patrolling and deterring Johns from infiltrating our neighborhoods. We need help, we need sleep, and we would prefer that sleep without bullets flying through our walls. Thanks for listening.